milestone for TV47, and not just for TV47 but for you back at home, because you are part and parcel of us. Officially, we're on DSTV channel 268. So we cross over to Muthoka and let's get to hear what the people are saying about this and how they're receiving this great news for this TV47 fraternity. Muthoka, if you can hear me.
Well, Linda, good morning to you once more. I know we've exchanged pleasantries a few moments back when I was within the studios. But now we've made our first stop at Kangemi. As you can see, this is Kangemi area. We've made our first stop here. We've been able to reach out to a number of residents here. A number, lucky fans have that exclusive opportunity to even win caps. A number have t-shirts already. A number have had an opportunity to get masked. And I want to take you down this trail so that you can understand, and our viewers also can see what is happening here today, because this is Kangemi area. We are headed where our track is just a few moments from here, where the real activity is going down right about now. Linda, a number of people here are saying that yes, indeed, they are happy. We have been welcomed with open arms here at Kangemi, because our fans and our viewers tell us that they had missed an opportunity to. And here we are. It's a special moment, not only for us, a special moment for them. As you can see, I would like my camera person now to show you what is actually happening here. Over to my camera
Easy. Cheki.
Well, Linda, that is it. Ni kionjo tu, tutasema hivyo kwa lugha ya mtaani. Ni kionjo tu. It's just but a sample of what to expect today. A number of fans are excited. A number already, as I mentioned before, have had an opportunity to win t-shirts, to win a number of merchandise, from masks to caps. And that is just about the start. Ndio mwanzo tu, tutasema mkoko unaalika maua, Linda. So basically that is it. Over to you.
Well, hiyo kionjo imeweza kuweza. Very own Mapete, Bomba la Sanaa. That is the host of Bomba la Sanaa. That is David Muthoka, our very own reporter. And you can feel the fun that is on ground. The music is out here. They could be in Kangemi right now, but trust you me, they are coming to where you are. It is a packed up affair for us this beautiful day. Like I said, we promised so much. Muthoka has been giving out merchandise, gifts to you. Remember, we also have people in a town. By the way, wanalipia watu fare. So ukiangukia msi amevaa t-shirt ya TV47 DSTV, jua leo umeweza, because utalipiwa fare from wherever it is that you're headed to, or you're coming from, or where you're headed to. So yes, chezea tu hapo ukitafuta uko tao uone some of these great goodies that we have. But crucial, the goodie of the day is about us getting to DSTV channel 268. A great milestone, an amazing moment for us. We mean then that we're going to come to you bigger and better in terms of content, in terms of what it is that we disseminate to you, entertainment, informative shows that we'll be bringing all the way to you. And importantly, we'll be inviting your interactions, because your feedback is crucial. Remember, this has happened because you asked for it, and we are thankful to the TV47 management team. We are thankful to the DSTV management team for allowing us this great milestone. It means so much for our very own careers and for our very own moments on TV, and for the growth of TV47, and to ensure that yes, we get you covered. We get all these updates, we get all this. Swali ya kila siku kuniuliza mko DSTV, mko ngapi, channel number ngapi? Your story imeisha. Ni 268 officially. We'll be ensuring that we update you. We ensure that at least you get all this feedback that is necessary for you. This is life. This is everything. So be part and parcel of this great milestone on TV47. Remember, it's also important that you tell us what you feel about this. Hashtag TV47 on DSTV, hashtag Home of Untold Stories. And will be the hashtag the entire day, all the way to the end of the day. We have to hear what you have to say about the same. Again, the programming continues in as much as there's be some bit of distractions as we cross over to the ground. I mean, remember, we have our reporters across different parts of the country, different counties, the 47 counties. TV47, by the way, you probably do not have an idea of what TV47 means. 47, we're talking about telling the stories of the 47 counties in the country. So we have our reporters in Kisumu, we have others in Meru County, we have others in Kisii, in Bungoma County, the coast. We have Maria Macharo on standby. Of course, she'll ensure that you get to know what every other TV47 family member feels about this great milestone. And that aside, it's now time that we come to the last bit of the show, that is Morning Cafe, as we discuss matters fashion. Yes, we will be just talking about fashion and what it is like in the country, the growth of the same in the Kenyan industry. I mean, we keep saying that it's good to buy Kenya and build Kenya, but just how much of it do we do? I mean, how many of us would want to wear that Ankara that has been crafted, custom made by our very own fashion or fashionistas? I mean, that's exactly what we'll be discussing this morning. We have an incredible guest, Melina Gold, who's a fashion designer. She'll be telling us her experience, how it is like doing business in the country, how it is like that, people are receiving the fashion industry in the country, and just what we expect for the future. She has custom made, clothes and attires that she's been doing. Amazing pieces. You can check her out. She'll be telling us how you get to check her out, even as we get to, again, welcome her into this great family of TV47. Remember, we are on DSTV, channel 268, a great milestone for us, a great moment for us. It means then we're going to come to you bigger and better in terms of content, in terms of ensuring that you get the best of information across the world. So it equally means that you can watch us from different parts, and that is incredible. So let's cross over to the discussion, and Melina Gold is here with me. Good to have you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so tell us something about fashion. First of all, you look incredibly amazing.
Thank you so much.
So what informs this? Because most of the times we say that, the things that inform what you dress up. Today, I am dressed up in this t-shirt because we're on DSTV officially at exactly 10 a.m. in the morning. 268.
Congratulations.
TV47 is on DSTV. Thank you
amazing.
so much. So what informs what you've dressed today?
Of course, I'm dressed by me, and I always dress to match my personality.
All right.
So it just describes who I am. My fashion is free, it's extra. So this is just me. It's who I am.
All right, this is amazing. Is it not
you.
too expensive? Okay, well, you could say it's not expensive because you're doing it yourself. But would it not be too expensive for the people to just have your material and take it to the fundi, take your measurements and all that?
No, I mean, it's not expensive. I think it's something that's affordable. It's something that suits different people. I mean, everyone has their level of capacity that they can spend. That's why there are different brands. People prefer different qualities and all that. So it's what you choose to spend. But I would say it's of course affordable.
Just how creative are we getting with Ankara? When we see Ankara, we see Kenya, we see Africa, we see us, we belong in a way. But people tend to argue that it's a bit too hard to get creative, especially with Ankara. It limits you to office, it limits you to matching into different occasions. Just how creative are we getting today?
I think we are actually growing. People are actually exploring. It's not like back when people just used Ankara plainly. These days people mix Ankara with different materials that you can even, at least it has a touch of Ankara. It's not purely Ankara. So people are getting creative, and you can work around Ankara in different occasions, in office, at a wedding, whatever. So I think people are getting really, really creative with Ankara. So it's not limiting it to just specific occasions, like maybe let's say wedding or something of the sort.
And so for the longest of time, we've heard of modeling and models, and there's this kind of physique that has been painted of what models are supposed to be, which you fit 101%. So what really got you into fashion? And in most cases, when we talk about models, that's when now we talk about fashion. It's like it's been, for the longest of time, it's been left for the models. Like if we have to showcase any type of clothes or any type of fashion, the latest of them all, then we think of the model who would be able to speak of it very well. So, is it because of your model physique, or have you been a model that you got into fashion?
No, I don't really think it's about my model physique. You know, fashion is way more than modeling. You know, a model is just someone who represents fashion stuff. So for me, I think it started way back, because but I didn't realize, but I've always loved dressing up. I've always been interested in different trends and all that. I remember my dad was telling me that I used to cut curtains and his t-shirts and just come up with different outfits. So, but I didn't realize it until probably I was in campus. That's when I was actually, I felt like I can actually do it. You know, it can actually turn into a career. Which it is not very appreciated, you know, as a career or something of the sort. But at that point where people have decided to diversify, you know, people are not just depending on whatever you studied. That's when I was like, yeah, you can do it, and I love it. I have the passion for it, so I went for it. 100%. However, I'm a professionally trained model as well, though I never ventured much into modeling. Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which, sadly, or so to speak, in as much as we appreciate, you know, the beauty that comes along with the pieces that we put or patch together, in as much as we appreciate the fact that, you know, you need to dress up and look good, like you say, not so much has been put towards growing this particular industry. Allow me to call it an industry, the fashion industry, and not so much has been put towards appreciating the fashion industry. When you speak of that, does it then justify the reason as to why most of the people have looked at it as a side hustle as opposed to the main hustle?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a big struggle. And that's why it's hard for even like fashion designers to thrive in Kenya. Because I remember when I was starting, I was checking out different outlets like malls and all that, where I can like store my outfits. But in every place I went, they were like, we don't take local stuff, we only take imported stuff, and it's your country. So you can imagine how sad that is. It's also expensive for us to source out for materials, to source out for labor and all that. So by the time you're selling your outfit, for you to get profit, you find out that people will tend to say your outfits are too expensive for us to buy. Yet kuna nguo zimeimportiwa and they can buy it at 1,500 at 1,000 at 999. So why should I buy an outfit for 3,500 or 2,500? But it's because of the struggles that we do have. For example, like you, if I ask you to mention like who are the 5 top most designers in Kenya, so many people don't know.
I have no idea.
You know, you have no idea. But when it comes to outside, people know Chanel, people know Gucci, people know Versace, you know. So that is the kind of thing I think we need to change. Plus, I think also people have been talking about this, and the president has been trying to do something about it, about how the imports are coming in too much, where we don't even have, you know, the space to build Kenya, to buy Kenya, you know. So it limits us a lot, and it's really sad, and I think something should be done about it.
And speaking of which, what is this one thing you would advocate, or you would say would be a solution to this? You would say would be the changing or the game changer of this view that we've had about the fashion industry?
Yeah, first of all, I think people have started noticing Kenyan. I believe stylists have been coming up, you know, and they're really supporting Kenyan designers and all that, and dressing different personalities and different people. But for me, what I think should be done, I think the main problem is the imports, the things that are coming inside the country, you know, and they're coming in a very cheap price, by which it becomes so hard for us to sell. So I think if it's the imports coming in, they should be limited, you know, like only 20% or, you know, can get in the country. And also I think the
people who are struggling with the tough economic times, so they would want those ones to come on board, so at least they can have it, you know, affordable.
Yeah, but you know, once that is once that is limited, then it will be easier for us to even reduce the price and, you know, and work together. And probably the importing rates should be at least increased, so that it's not that easy to import, you know, clothes. They'll have no choice but to just support their own. And once you support their own, we grow, you know, we grow as a country.
So someone will be watching you and would want to know where you started from. Like you say, you started from way back without even you noticing. So at what point then did you get and say officially, this is what I'm going to do? And what are some of the challenges that you probably witnessed that, you know, would be a lesson to somebody who's watching?
I started last year officially, like I launched it officially last year. I think that's when I was ready. You know, like when you love something so much, you're even
Yeah.
afraid to take the risk.
Because you're scared of losing.
Yeah,
or
you're scared
failing,
of
yeah.
losing or failing. But last year is when I decided that I'm doing this.
Okay.
So I started. It's not been easy, especially last year. I think actually during this Corona period, ndio mimi have become lucky when other people are really
I almost asked you, umekuja na bahati mbaya sana ya corona. Okay, tell us more.
No.
Yeah.
So last year it was a bit hard because, you know, you're learning, you know, you don't know how things work, you don't know how things, you know, are running, and it's a bit hard, and it's a bit hard for also people to appreciate like a new brand. You know,
Yeah.
you want to work with this person, you want to work with this person, but people want to work with someone who's already known, or at least, you know, hey, Linda has worked with this person, so
Yeah.
hata mimi naweza work naye. But you know, when no one knows you, you know, no one has worked with you, so to earn that trust is a bit hard. But I can say it all takes hard work. It all takes being smart, you know, just believing in what you're doing, and just going for it.
All right. Are there, I'd say, policies that in a way are very hard to achieve or very easy or are needed? If at all you have to decide today that you're going to set up a fashion shop, or you're going to set up, you know, an industry where, of course, you'll be having a patching up some of these clothes and all that, because most of the people tend to get themselves into different industries without knowing what is expected of them, especially when it gets to that point where it's commercial. So what are some of the things that are expected for you, and do you suppose then that the government has made it easy for anyone who'd want to venture into business, whatever kind of business?
Of course, there are different measures that people need to take, and like you said, before you venture into anything, or before you get yourself into anything, I think you have to do a research.
Yeah.
You have to talk to someone who's probably already in that industry to understand how things work, you know, what you need, are there any documentations you need, do you need to register your company,
Right.
and all that, by which also registering a company is also not that cheap. And you know, people are struggling with like capital.
Yeah.
You know, you of course want to do this business, you want to do this and that, but probably don't even have the capital to even go register your company,
Right.
leave alone doing other things. So I think some people start with maybe online, you know, with friends and all that, until probably you get the right maybe amount of money or all that. And so I think the government should actually consider that, you know, when it comes to company registrations and all that, because you just don't expect someone who's maybe a youth or just coming from nowhere and is struggling, and you expect them to just come up with, you know, all that the money to pay for such documentations and all
Did you suppose that some of these restrictions are the ones that actually, you know, tend to make most of these people give up and not even start anything at all?
Yeah, for sure. Some even start and then they get there and then they're like,
Kumbe si Kenya nilifikiria.
yeah, si Kenya nilifikiria. So it's discouraging at some point. And if you don't have someone to hold your hand, or, you know, to help you go about it, then even if you want to do it and you have the capability of doing it, then unapata you're limited, so you can't even.
Let's speak about the online space now that you mentioned it. How much is it coming handy towards, you know, first of all, helping the fashion industry grow and maybe other industries?
I think it's very important, especially in this day and age and era. Everything is becoming way more digital. You know, everything. If you want to shop for something, you simply go online, check out. So I think it's very, very beneficial. Actually, find that you find most of your clients from online platforms, you know. So I think it's very, very important. It's very, very beneficial, and it's very, very important for people to build their brands online, you know, so that it's not just physical, mtu si lazima kutafute, you know, elsewhere, but when they go online, they can check your brand, they can see this is actually a reasonable brand. Yeah.
Is it outright or straight to go and sell your products, or to go and market your brand online? Is it a straight to the point?
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about generally now the other fashionistas that are in the industry and how much they are instrumental in the growth of the upcoming ones. And you know, especially you who says that you know, you for us by default you've been in the modeling you know space. You probably have met the best of the designers. You probably have had, you know, platforms where you've gone to showcase your products and all that, exhibitions and all this. Just how much is being done with the gurus towards uplifting this industry?
Towards uplifting, I may not know. You know, support in every other industry, I think majorly in Kenya, it's hard. I think it's so hard for people to just support
Why?
one another. I don't understand. And I think when you get to a certain point, people become comfortable. You know, like when someone knows Melina is a designer, or you hear somewhere, even if you've not even seen her work, unaweza mwambia tu hey, Melina ni designer mkali sana, you know. So that goes around and people just believe you're the greatest, you know, or you're one of the people who like you are among the first people, you know, the old people who are like now considered as the biggest designers. Probably it's just because you even started first, you know. It's because you started first. So what I did is like I analyzed different things that people do out there, and you shouldn't be scared because you just hear that Melina is such a big person, you know. Go and check, go see what they do, you know, because sometimes some people are overrated, some people are underrated. So once you understand yourself, once you understand your product, you are your number one supporter,
right?
First of all,
for sell your brand.
Yeah, so very, very few people actually take their time to, you know, to support. Literally, some just say, you know, if you need us, come help us. Did you get mentors and all that? But it's not actual,
right?
But I mean, there are people out there who are also very, very, very supportive. Yeah. And
okay, so you have. I don't know whether you've heard of this, but I've heard of it constantly. That fundi wa ukweli tu ni wa nywele, you know, where fundi wa ukweli to the best fundi you can get around ni wa nywele. You know, you just go sit there and fix nywele yako and that's it. So that is to speak of fundi wa viatu, fundi wa nguo, the way they lie to you every time ukienda hapo kuja kesho, you go there, I'll give you the best, alafu nakupatia totally something opposite about that. Let's talk about first bringing the brand to life, maintaining the brand, and taking the brand to the next level. And that is crucial when it comes to, you know, first of all, how people perceive you to be, how people learn to appreciate your brand. So just how best are the Fundi wa Nguos running from this notion and trying their level best to maintain the class, to maintain the brand, and, you know, convince the people out there that honestly they can invest in them?
I've heard that before. People always complain. You know, a tailor is not someone who you can rely on.
And I can tell you for free, this is one of the biggest undoing of the industry, because today I have like 2, 3, 4 pieces of you know, Ankara. They're lying somewhere in my bedroom.
You should officially become
I know. I officially. I'm trying to tell you that exactly. So I'd be like, you know what? Sasa nikipelekea fundi aniangushe. You know, and once again you get to that one fundi who does a good job, you want to stick to them forever. You don't even want to switch and try somebody else.
I understand that happens a lot. Of course, it's something that people complain about a lot, and I think sometimes what I realized when I came to when I got into the fashion industry is that, you know, they're normal tailors. They are fashion designers, and, you know, for like a fashion brand, you need like a fashion designer, you need a tailor who clearly understands what they're doing, because some people have just taken like tailoring lessons where you just learn how to cut, how to do basic stuff, but they've not advanced even as a tailor to be able to be versatile, you know, to be diverse. So that's why sometimes it's limiting. Mtu anakuambia, hey, nitakushonia nini, but whatever you expect is something totally bad. So for a fashion brand or for a tailor who's doing stuff for people, I think, first of all, you need to know your limit. You need to know what you can do, what you can't do, so that you don't give false, you know, promises. Understand what you can do, what you can do. Then make that your nini, like your stronghold,
your strength,
you know. So if you're good at making skirts or this kind of specific things, then focus on that. If it suits, then focus on suits, so that you don't end up aligned to people. Also, if you're having a fashion brand or a fashion designer, ensure that the tailor you're working with knows what they're doing, and you know that you can deliver, so that I know if you come to me, if you ask me to do this, I can actually do it.
All right. So let's talk about marketing. How crucial is marketing, and what are some of the best forms of marketing that are there for one to, you know, market a fashion brand?
Marketing is very, very crucial. I think it's one of the most important thing in any, you know, in anything or a brand. So you actually, when your marketing is top, then your brand will actually do well. For the different styles, I think people tend also to confuse that a lot, because when this person is doing this kind of marketing, then you go and do it, and probably it's not suitable for your brand. You understand? So marketing depends on your brand. So if your brand, this is your brand,
Yeah.
you find out reasonable marketing solutions for your brand or
Nice.
strategies for your brand, then you work with it. But don't compare or don't just use any marketing strategies because people are using it. For some it may be commercial, maybe yours is not commercial. For some it may be online, maybe yours is not online. So marketing is different. People have different bases. So I think you need to understand your brand, and then you'll figure out the perfect marketing strategies that would work for it.
All right. Speaking of understanding one's brand, what type of clothes do you focus on, or it's general? You just decide, okay, where you're going to do everything. Well, I see Ankara, and I will want to assume that you're only channeled on that.
No. For me, I'm doing female clothing for now, and it's not really Ankara because what I saw, the first thing I saw is that so many Kenyan people tend to do Ankara, so that is what they identified as. Any Kenyan brand you go, it's mostly Ankara. The modern kind of trends and all that, most of them are imported. So I'm trying to mix every other thing, the modern pieces. I rarely do Ankara, unless maybe customized pieces and all that. So for me, it's just being bold, being classy, being outstanding, being extra. So it doesn't limit me to Ankara. I'm very, very diverse, and that's in the modern kind of touch.
All right. Did you carry any of your pieces, or do we have photos of any of your pieces today?
I think I can give you my social media.
Oh, the handles. Well, feel comfortable.
Yeah. So you can find me at Melina_gold_store. Sorry, on Instagram, Melina_gold_store. There is a website link there, so you can explore more on our website. But on the page, you can find different pieces.
So is there a physical shop, or people just do it online, and maybe now you take their measurements and you set up something for them?
For now, we are doing online, especially because of COVID and everything. But once things open up, then we'll have a physical joint. Yeah.
What is this one attire or piece that you've ever set up and that blew your mind, and that felt like this was a great milestone?
One of the pieces that I've created. Yeah, I actually have a favorite piece. I wish there was a way I'd show you. But it really, really made me feel like I did.
Melina,
I've done it. I was so excited. I actually felt like just owning it, just having it in my closet. Yeah.
All right. So the biggest in terms of business that you've ever done, like that got you thinking that this is what I'll stick to.
So I'm majorly focusing on public figures or celebrities or artists, because like I told you, I want that to bring that competition in Kenya. You see, whereby we can know that this is Melina, this is Linda. You feel proud wearing Melina or having a piece. The same way you'd feel like owning an original Gucci piece. So mainly I'm focusing on celebrities and public figures. So I felt like that is my area, because these are people who can wear anything, they're not afraid. They're not afraid of being extra, of being outstanding, and that is what my brand is all about. All
right. In terms of platforms for marketing, let's overlook the online platform that is there generally for every other person. Do we have like exhibitions that are are run in most cases? Do we have these runways that allow you the chance to go and present your pieces? And just how much is it to get access to the same?
They're actually there. They're there, and they're very, very good platforms. So for some, it depends. For some, you even get you need 70,000 to just get a spot. For some, it goes to as low as 2,500, which I think is very, very nice, for the Nairobi flea market. But so that's a good opportunity where from wherever, whether you're a low brand or a higher, you can be able to afford. So they're really, really good platforms, and they are there. And for some, you just pay for the space, and then you get the chance to showcase. All right. If
someone was watching you today and they probably want to get into fashion, maybe they feel like they have the hands of gold, that touch of gold, and maybe they can bring life to just a piece of cloth. What would you tell them today in terms of venturing into the same? Because we've started by making complaints or having complaints of how difficult the industry is. Is there anything good about it?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that's not difficult.
Yeah.
Cindy, even presenting,
I
there's
agree.
nothing
I agree.
that's easy. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be prepared. See, it's not like people will just lie to you that it's all smooth and everything. You have to be prepared.
Yeah.
But what I can say is just start now, you know. Just start with whatever you have.
Right.
If it's a one piece of material,
Right.
make it, go sell it to someone, you'll get profit, you'll make 2 more pieces, 3 more pieces. So just start now. Also research on what you're venturing into.
Yeah.
And then just start with what you have.
All right, this celebrity, one of the celebrities that you probably dressed maybe for their music or anything, and really it worked magic for you so far.
I'd say Femi One on her recent trip to Tanzania.
All right.
Yeah, so I dressed her. I really felt nice, like seeing her performing on stage with my
Yeah.
piece. It was a good milestone. Yeah, I felt good about it.
All right, and speaking of Tanzania and any other country, and we all know very well that yes, fashion is crucial and it cuts across. You know, it speaks volumes about the culture of the people, speaks volumes about the personality of the person, speaks volumes about, you know, the say what it is that a person does, you know, to make a living and all that. So the comparison that you'd make of Kenyan fashion industry with the world fashion industry, or generally the East African fashion industry and the other continental, you know, bits. What would you say about that? Are we somewhere, or we have to put up some more energy?
We are growing, and that's why we are here, and we'll push it until we get to that level. But the competition is also real. You can see people like in Tanzania, you know, in Uganda. The competition are real, and some people take fashion very, very seriously. I think more than we as Kenyans do.
Yeah.
You know, for some people, how they dress, how they show up in different things, they take it so seriously. You get, especially like, let's say, let me compare Tanzania and Kenya. So I think we just need to see the competition. We need to rise, by which we are. We are really, really trying.
The global fraternity seemed to, you know, like present us with the unbelievable ones, those ones that looked unachievable and all that.
Yeah.
Do you suppose that we flexed our muscles and we're going to get there? These pieces, they're just extraordinary. Sometimes you look at their gala awards and you're like, wow. So that someone worked on that.
Yeah, I think that is where, personally, I believe that is where we need to be. Yeah, I think we can be as extra as we can. We can get, like, even if it's 5 brands who can, you know, be doing that. Not every brand should be doing that, because people in fashion, there are different categories. You know, there are women who are decent and reserved and all that. There's also the extra people. So I think we'll get there, and we need to get there, because it's all about creativity. It's all about being out of the box, you know.
Yeah.
So we will get there.
All right, and I remember there's a time there was that declaration by the government, like you said, President Uhuru Kenyatta has really tried to push for this. By the way, we've seen him push for it, at least even with his yes, he dresses them. And like, yeah, we appreciate. That's nice. Sometimes there's that fear. I don't know whether you've also seen this meme that was making rounds when you go out there to go and pay dowry, and then boom, the curtains look like you at you really do not know what next and all that. You can't go back home. There's no time for that. Do you tell them to change the curtains? But anyway, that aside, there was that declaration that every other Friday we should be doing Ankara, we should be doing, you know, custom made and, you know, Kenyan made attires across different sectors in offices and all that. And we honestly did that for some months.
Yeah.
And it vanished in thin air. Are we genuine at all in trying to push for our brands?
I think we're just being Kenyans.
Yeah.
Same thing that happens at a curfew in Anza.
Before you
2
know
months
it.
before you know it, you know, everyone is outside at 9 and you're like,
Wow.
what? So I think it's just a Kenyan tendency to just start something with psych and then just lose it at the end of the day. But I think he should insist on it, or people should actually take it seriously.
Yeah.
But like I said, that can happen if certain measures are taken, you know, because people will do that for some time and then will realize, there's this nini that's even way cheaper or whatever, and then you just go back to it. But I think it's time. It's just time we support our own.
As we get to wind up, what is this one carry home statement that you'd give us that would get us, you know, changing our minds and changing our perception on the local fashion, or maybe our very own fashion, and just try and embrace it as we wind up, as you face that camera?
Yeah, so I think we are producing, you know, good quality stuff. We are really, really working hard to ensure that we create a change in the fashion industry. And if you do not support Kenya, then there's no way that Kenya will grow, and there's no way you'll be proud of Kenya, so that you don't go for other options before seeing what is home. You get? So I think let's support us, let's build us.
And I don't think I need to say anything more. Melina Gould has said it all. It's important that we are out there being the first to sell our very own brand, because, well, they are what, honestly? They are good pieces out here. If you try them out, then you probably understand what it is that we are saying. Thank you so much, Melina Gould, for the great insight. Melina Gould is a fashion designer. It was great having you. And like she said, you can always check her out on the social media platforms. My name is Linda Alela. Remember the hashtag this morning and the entire day is TV47 on DSTV, and hashtag also Home of Untold Story. Good to have you and good to make this milestone together with you. Like I said, we have a great session this day, and it's going to be all about you. It's going to be all about going to where you are as we all march onto DSTV. Thank you so much for keeping me company right from the start up until now. I'll get to see you again later in the day. My name is Linda Alela. That's where we get to wind up Morning Cafe. Do have yourself a lovely, lovely day ahead. Thank you.
Authentic, natural, planned. Transforming. Endless benefits.